So, welcome everyone to our Thursday educational series. My name is Laura Waghorn, and today we are excited to welcome three guests to tell us their real journey, real results experiences. So, we have Peyton Farrior, Greg Foulkes, and Vanessa Joy. So, Peyton, I'm going to start with you. So,
Okay.
Peyton is a wellness advocate, an entrepreneur, and a mum who lost 90 pounds, 90 pounds through
Wow.
using a GLP-1 therapy and lifestyle changes. She's passionate about practical wellness and balance, and she now inspires women to reclaim confidence and energy using the tools like microdosing on the GLP-1s, the NAD plus, GHKCU. So, Patent shares education, resources, and real life strategies to help women feel strong and at home in their bodies again. So, Peyton, you've had an incredible health transformation. You've lost 90 pounds. So,
Yes.
can you share with us what sparked that journey for you?
Sure. So to start it off, I've for my whole life I've been around 150 pounds and always just and I'm 5'7" and I always just had that like 10 to 15 pounds that I always wanted to get off and I never could. So flash forward to having children. I got married and I got pregnant and I had twins. And unfortunately, we lost one of our twins, our son, 6 days after he was born. And this really spiraled my grief journey. I'd never, nobody ever expects to go through anything like that in their lives. So in the midst of me grieving my son, I'm also having to raise his twin sister. And the weight that I packed on during this time was just it was just unlike anything that I've ever experienced in my life. And also a little curveball was thrown in there. I got pregnant at 6 weeks. So I had another baby 11 weeks, or sorry,
Wow.
11 months later. And I gained 90 pounds, really like 70. So I breastfed for 10 months and I was like so miserable. I just could not get the weight off. I'm trying everything. I'm working out, I'm eating right, like just doing all the things, and I'm miserable in my body. Like I just can't even recognize myself in the mirror. And finally one day I was like, I have got to make a change. Like I have to make a change for myself, for my children, for my husband, because I don't like myself anymore. It just got to the point where I was on top of all the other depression that I was feeling from losing my son. The depression from just from me just started spiraling out of control. It's really hard to look in the mirror and just not recognize yourself and just to feel like a failure as a mom. Just everything. So anyway, I started taking the shot, and the first month I lost 0 pounds, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that this is working for everybody else and it's not working for me." And my friend was like, "Just stick it out, Peyton. Just stick it out. Like it's gonna work." So I was like, "Okay." So I did, and that next month I lost like 8 pounds, and I was like, "Okay, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel." And then the ball just started rolling, and once I had lost the first 20 pounds, I felt so much better about myself that I started working out. And I met my best friend in the gym. She's such an angel to me and has been such an inspiration. And we started working out and just like the way that this shot has made me love myself again, not even just from the weight loss standpoint, but being able to like move my body and enjoy it and to fuel my body with healthy food and to not think about the constant like how many calories did I eat today? Oh gosh, I'll just start again on Monday. Oh, I just ate 5 donuts. Like, why did I do that? I feel so guilty. Like, I just had all these thoughts. And really, I've had those my whole entire life. And it wasn't until this shot that my brain was clear. I've had anxiety my entire life. Um, I've also been able to get off of all medication. I don't know if it was because of just the constant noise in my head or what, not all, obviously talk to your doctor and everything like that. But it has just made my mental health so much better and clearer. I was also diagnosed with Hashimoto's disorder. I have PCOS. I've had chronic hypertension my entire life. I almost died both of my pregnancies from preeclampsia. And this is the first time in my life, even when I was still 200 pounds, that I've had perfect. blood pressure. So, people can talk bad about the shot, but for me, being able to get off of 8+ medications in exchange for a shot one time a week, has been the biggest game changer for me. Um, I'm finally so comfortable in my body. I am almost 29, and you better believe I will be taking bikini pictures and posting because I have never felt better about myself. And now I get to help other women feel the same. And I have just never felt so passionate about something in my entire life.
Oh, Peyton, what a story. And firstly, I just want to say thank you for sharing that with us. You know, that's a personal journey for you, everything you've experienced in your life. And we're sorry that you had to experience some of those things
Mhm.
in your life. But what a journey you're on now. You know, you're inspiring other people who might have gone through similar
Mhm.
situations to you. So talk to us a little bit about, obviously you said you had 5 donuts, you had the guilt. So what changes did you notice in your appetite and your energy levels as well?
Okay, so for me, like I was a slow responder a little bit. I didn't, have any response that first month. And really even the second month, like it wasn't anything crazy. But what I notice now is that, um, well, really, the other day, my mom bought a big bag of Reese's, the Halloween Reese's. So, and I used to, those were my weakness. Like I would eat, 10 of them, maybe even more. And I mean, that was even before I'd, gained all the weight. Like I just have always had a sweet tooth. It's just like I want more and more and more. Well, I had one. And that was it. And like I didn't even think about it until like 2 days later. I was like, wow, I did not binge eat that whole bag. Like it just kind of hit me. Like before I would have done that, but now it's just like I listen to my body and I listen to my cues. And if I want something sweet, I'm gonna have it. Like I'm not going to just not have something that I want now, but I'm just not going to go all the way like I used to go. And that is just it's a crazy feeling being able to control yourself in a way that you've never been able to before around food.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Hmm.
aside from taking the GLP-1s,
Hmm.
you've been taking the NAD plus and the GHKCU. So, what did you experience since you started introducing that into the routine?
So GHKCU was the second peptide that I started taking, and I I again was like, oh my goodness, it's not going to work for me. About a month into it, I went to take a TikTok, and I had to stop myself. I was like, listen, this might come off as a little bit vain, but it was the truth. I had never looked as good as I did in that moment. And I had on no
Mm.
makeup. Um, I had this glow to me that I've never had before. And like I just paused and I was like, my hair has never looked this healthy. I had so much regrowth from, I had, postpartum hair loss, and, things like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, my hair has never been thicker, longer, stronger looking. And my skin, I was like, I have spent so much money on skincare over the years, Botox, you name it. And this is what this is what has changed my life. Like I finally feel confident in taking a TikTok. Just where I've never wanted to take a picture on the beach or with my friends and not like nitpick at myself. And
Mhm.
now I'm like, let's take the photo, like let's have the memories. I don't want to look back in 20 years and be like, I have no pictures with my kids, and now I'm hopping in all of them because I feel better about myself. And with the NAD, I'm a mom. I'm tired. I'm so tired. And this has given me just such a boost and like just mental clarity that I didn't know was possible. And now like I have my dad on it. He's obsessed. Um, and that I keep telling people there's so much more than just weight loss. Like just dip your toe in. You got to try out the other ones and you're going to be so amazed because I thought it was just weight loss, but now I know that um the best is yet to come.
Yeah, you found that holy grail.
Hmm.
You found what works for you. And that's what happens when you take charge of your life and
Hmm.
you think, "Do you know what? I'm gonna think outside the box and I'm gonna try these different things."
Yeah.
And somebody has just asked in the comments, you might not want to answer, but they have asked, how old are you?
I'm almost 29. So I have been I'm a little sunburned right now, so I might look a little bit older. But I have been getting a lot of comments asking me if I was like 22, 23, and I took my kids to a little indoor play place, and I'd been taking them there like once a week for like a month, and the lady that owns it was like, "Did they just call you mom?" And I was like, "Yeah," and they're like, "We thought that you were like their nanny or something." I was like, "That is the best compliment I've ever gotten."
Ever,
Yeah.
ever.
Oh, that's brilliant. And that's the confidence change, isn't it? When you're feeling
Yeah.
good on the inside, you look good on the outside, and you just glow. You
Mhm.
Yeah.
really do. So thank you, Peyton, for coming on and sharing your story. That was a powerful one. You've gone through a lot, but the way you're progressing now and you're
Mhm.
glowing. Like somebody said it in the comments, you are glowing. So
Oh,
thank
well,
you for
thank
coming
y'all.
on and sharing your story with everyone. So next up, we have Greg Foulkes. Now, Greg is a Harley Davidson motorcycle specialist with a lifelong passion for helping others. And after experiencing firsthand how drastically peptide transformed his own life, he knew his purpose was to help others achieve the same results. So, welcome, Greg. But, Greg, can you share what life felt like before you discovered peptides?
Absolutely. Life was very different before peptides. I had gotten up to an all-time high of 240 pounds. I'm only 5'10", so that was a lot of weight on me. I was sluggish, didn't sleep well, heartburn, um, you name it. Hard to tie my shoes. I would leave my shoes knotted up so I could just slip my shoes on because it was too much trouble to bend down and tie my shoes. Life was not good.
Yeah, it sounds it. So what was that turning point for you? Was it when you was trying to put your shoes on, or did you think, do you know what, I need to make a change here? When was that turning point?
Well, the turning point, I've tried to do, the crash diets. I've tried to do keto and stuff like that. And over time, what I found was trying to deprive yourself is just not sustainable. You can't stick with these crash diets. You always end up going back. You might lose a little bit of weight, but then you go back, you start eating again, and nothing ever changed for me that was long term. My wife had gotten involved with this, and I started doing the research, looking at it, and I was like, you know what? This is natural. I believe that this will actually help change my body chemistry and get me on track to a point that I can actually sustainably keep the weight off. I thought, what have I got to lose? Let's try it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's try it. So you've been taking the GLP-1 and then the GIP with B12. So what changes did you notice first? Like, was it weight? Was it physical results? Like, was it energy, mindset? How did it affect your day-to-day life once you started taking this?
I'm going to be honest. I was really blessed with how fast I started noticing changes. Within a week, I instantly started noticing that my cravings had gone away. I used to eat about every 2 hours. I would eat, and not a lot, but I would just graze here and there, and I would go find a snack. I would, go grab a couple chicken strips or a slice of pizza or you name it, and even fruit, stuff like that. But it instantly, I went from eating every 2 hours to backing down to only eating 3 times a day. Within the first week, I was down to eating twice a day. And I just wasn't craving food anymore. I wasn't hungry. I didn't need that constant binge eating that I was doing. I didn't realize how much I was eating. And I'm going to tell you, that's one of the things that I've noticed, the cost of GLP-1 meds. People want to talk about that. I promise you, the what it cost me to buy my GLP-1s, I'm not spending in food that I was spending before, and I promise you I was spending every bit of that.
Yeah, that's a great way to sum it up. What you
Yep.
take away from your spending could be attributed towards the GLP-1s. So
100%.
was you hesitant? Obviously, you've done the yo-yo dieting, you tried keto, you tried all these other things. So was you hesitant, like when you first was introduced to the GLP-1s? Did you think it was just another fad? Or obviously you said you'd done a little bit of research into it, but did you expect it to work so well for you?
I expected it to work because I had done some research into it. I didn't know how well it would work or how fast it would work. Like I said, I've only been on for 8 weeks now, and I have gone from weighing 240 pounds till I weighed this morning, and I'm down to 217 in 8 weeks. So that's a drop of 23 pounds. Pant size, that was drastic. I went from wearing a size 40 jeans down to a 34, and they're starting to get loose. I honestly see me ending up in somewhere around a 32 jean, which is just crazy. I haven't seen a size 32 since I was in high school. I'm 48 years old now.
Oh, I love that. So you're going clothes shopping.
No, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'm
So
always going to
what
hold
does
on to
your
that pair
routine
of
look like?
40s.
What does your routine look like, Greg?
Um,
Obviously it's a once a week shot, and
it is.
then how do you feel once you've taken that shot? Do some people experience that they might feel a little bit tired, or how is it affecting you personally?
I haven't had that effect. If anything, I'm sleeping better now. I wake up more refreshed. A lot of the brain fog is gone that, I've suffered with that most of my life. And so that seems to be easing up a little bit. I've got more energy. I sleep better at night. I take the shot once a week. And I'd say the only thing I might have noticed is when it comes close to shot day, I might be a little more susceptible to, oh, there's something I want to snack on a little bit. It's shot day's coming up. But then I take the shot and bam, we're right on track again.
So have you changed your diet at all, or are you kind of still eating the same foods, or have you focused on some kind of meal plan to go alongside? What's your strategy?
That actually has been amazing because I have changed my diet. I'm eating much healthier now, much leaner, much cleaner, lots of proteins, as far as meats, um, vegetables. And we do a lot of pre-packing food now. If I take lunch to work, usually I don't even eat breakfast. If I take lunch, it's going to be like a pre-packed meal, and it's going to be high in protein. It's going to have a meat and a vegetable, and that's it. And then at dinner time, I'm not eating the breads that I was eating before. Uh, I've noticed that's slack. Well, sweets are non-existent. I don't crave sweets at all anymore, and that used to be a real thing. Um, so yeah, I would definitely say my diet has changed, and I definitely eat much cleaner, and I'm able to consciously think about that now, where I wasn't before. I the doctors they've never told me I was pre-diabetic, but I had symptoms that felt like being pre-diabetic because if I told you I ate every 2 hours. If I didn't eat, I would get kind of shaky. My hands would get shaky, and I would get if I waited too long, I would end up binge eating. I mean, just whatever I could get my hands on until the shakes would go away. That has 100% stopped across the board. Another thing I've noticed too, they had me on, still had me on that. I haven't gotten off of it, but high blood pressure medication. I went to the doctor a couple of months back, just a routine checkup, and he's looking at me kind of crazy, asking me if I felt okay. I'm like, yeah, I feel fine. Why? He's like, yeah, your blood pressure says you're not okay. So he said, I'm going to go ahead and start you on this blood pressure medication. And that's not something anybody wants to hear, right? That's like, it seemed like a slippery slope. It's like, oh, great, I've gotten to that point in my life now. It's going to be high blood pressure medication. What else is coming after that? But I went to the doctor, I don't know, I guess it was about 2 weeks ago now. Had to have a small little surgery done. And they did my check-in when I got there, and they were like, you've got great blood pressure. I was like, So that kind of got me thinking. I'm really wondering how much has the GLP-1 helped on top of the blood pressure medication, and can I start weaning myself off of the blood pressure medication? So it's not something I've done yet, but it is something I'm about to start trying.
Yeah, definitely. But talk to your doctor first, always.
100%.
But
Yep.
that's a great story. It's helping you all round with the food noise, possibly the blood pressure, possibly changing your diet as well. So that's
Yep.
fantastic. And we wish you every success on your GLP-1
Thank you
journey.
very
So
much.
thank you for coming on and sharing your story. I've seen a lot of people commenting that they've got the high blood pressure, so this has given them a lot of hope. I have one more question for you, Greg.
Sure.
Um, uh, the, Our industry is kind of a women-dominated industry, so we love it when we have a man that comes on and they share their story. So, what would you say to any man out there right now who's a little bit reluctant to maybe look into the peptide world?
Jump in feet first. I'm serious. It is. This is absolutely changing my life in a drastic way. I will never look back, and I'm going to keep sharing it with everybody I can talk to about it, guys included, because it's our health, especially in this country, has been so horrible for so many years, and this is something that can really make a difference. And there's just no reason in my mind for people not to give it a shot.
No pun intended with the shot. Oh, well, thank you so much, Greg, for coming on and sharing your story with us. And we just can't wait to see where you go from here with it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So next up, we have Vanessa Joy. Now, Vanessa is a health educator, an entrepreneur, and founder of Cultive, a wellness community dedicated to helping women restore energy, balance hormones, and feel at home in their bodies again. So with over 20 years of experience in a holistic plant-based living, detoxifying and natural healing, she discovered peptide therapy as a powerful complement to her approach. So today she's here to talk to us about her story. So Vanessa, talk to us a little bit about where this started for you and how you discovered the peptide world.
Okay, so hi everyone. Love my background. I'm actually in Florida right now, but this is like, you can see now it's like a fake background, but I don't have my normal background, but I'm in Florida, so I'm tapping into the beach vibes. So thank you for having me. I love sharing my story because it has been the last 5 years have been so impactful and transformative in so many ways. A little bit like what Peyton was saying, it's more than, I always say that it's more than just the weight loss, because once you can get that noise out, and my body was doing something different, and I'll get into that. But once I was able to, like, okay, there's nothing wrong with me, I was able to go deeper into other areas of my life. So I'm a mom of 4 boys, very busy hockey boys who basically live in the hockey rink. Thus, I live in the hockey rink or in the bus driving them around. And that took a toll on me. I had babies. I have a 19, 17, 15, and a 12-year-old. And just back to back to back having babies, but always did everything holistically. So I thought I had it together. Basically, I wouldn't, I, every food is medicine, and I would never even put anything on my skin that I didn't feel like you can't eat. So that's kind of been my motto. And it was quite shocking to me when perimenopause hit me like a Mack truck, quite literally. And I was having these weight fluctuations, like I'm on a roller coaster ride, 50 pounds here and there. And I'm just like, this should not be happening to me. I've been stewarding my body so well all these years. And then I was shifting how I was caring for my body and adjusting to midlife, which is different than what your body can handle when you're younger. And even those things weren't working. So I got on the phone with my doctor, my one of my friends from Hippocrates, and we went through all of the things together. And I actually started on a product. It was actually CJC, which is our ipamorelin, and but just solely. So, and I'll get into that in a little bit when I talk about what I'm doing now. But that helped a lot. It did help to decrease. So, what we have the tesamorelin and the ipamorelin, that did help to take down some of the inflammation, but I was still having these fluctuations. And so enter GLP-1, and my doctor put BPC in there because it's compounded, customized for you, which is the beauty of working with a company like EllieMD. These peptides are customized for you. And so that transformed everything. And because I was, so like the question you were asking Greg about what changes he's like made now, like I was doing those things. And so I kind of describe it like because I was already doing all of the lifestyle things. And then it just kind of like I feel like the GLP-1 like cleared the brush for the pathways in my body to communicate properly. And so literally within 4 weeks, 20 pounds of inflammation. There's no way it was fat. I was struggling with inflammation, with those fluctuations, insulin resistance. They were testing my thyroid. They were, and throwing Armour thyroid at it. I mean, they were just doing everything, metformin, all these things, just like really stubborn insulin resistance. And basically, my metabolism was busted. So I love when Sally talked last Thursday and she said that GLP-1s are actually like bioidentical hormone replacement for our metabolism. And that's quite literally what was happening in my body. So fast forward, Blair and I talked a year ago, and I decided to join EllieMD because in my community, I was referring people to my friends, and it just wasn't accessible. It wasn't doable for other people. And so when I joined Ellie, I started learning like there's all these other peptides. So I've been like Hani says, I pulled that big lever first, and then I am, doing that GHKCU for the skin tightening, because as you can imagine, having four babies, and back to back to back, and not having everything come back together, that GHKCU, the BPC lever. And my favorite peptide is, I was on the sermorelin for a while, and I was so happy when we got Tessa. I call her my best friend, Tessa and Ipa. And it had just everything has come back together, and I feel so much better than I did in my 20s. I don't know, like, I mean, Peyton, you were talking about the confidence. There's like a psyche thing. When you get rid of all the noise, and my noise wasn't the food noise. My noise was like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? There's something wrong. I've been stewarding my health. I'm sick. I know there's something off. And once I was able to like hush that and just be still with where I was at, I was able to really enjoy my kids. I mean, I was the person hiding behind my kids in photos. So I relate to that too, Peyton. And there's just so many more ways that I've seen so much benefit in my life. I'm just, I'm so excited to be sharing this now, because we've made this accessible for everybody. Like, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing. I'm so
It
grateful
is
for these
amazing.
peptides.
It is amazing. Four kids back to back, that must have took its toll on your body. So I can see you cycle the microdose, the GLP-1. You're on BPC 157, TB 500, GHKCU, tesamorelin, ipirellin, the NAD plus, and the
All of them.
glutathione. So talk to us about what your peptide schedule looks like, where that
Yes.
sweet spot is for you. How do you manage that into your week?
Well, now that I have hit where I want to be, um, I can tell when my body needs the GLP-1 again, just because I've been cycling in and out of it for 5 years. I was having a lot of joint pain, like you're on the floor with your kids, playing knee hockey, and then like you try to get up and you're like, it takes a few steps to like get that blood flowing in your joints again because it freaking hurts. Um, and so I can tell when I need to cycle it back in, because it really does help take that inflammation down for me. But I call it a peptide party night, and that's once a week, and I just kind of stack it. I stack them all. And, but I also know like if I can feel myself getting a little bit sick, I will make sure I have my glutathione. I will, I have two herniated discs. I didn't even talk about that part of my testimony. I have two herniated discs in my neck, and they wanted to put a rod in my neck, and I went running for the hills because I told you I'm holistic, and I'm just like, I'm 40 at the time, I'm 40 years old. I'm not putting a rod in my neck. I ride horses. This isn't happening. And so they wanted to do a disc replacement. And actually, as I was applying the peptides at the beginning, I didn't even realize it until one day, a couple years later, I was like, I have not I would have an episode every year that would have me in the bed. Like I couldn't get up because I felt like my head was the weight of like a bowling ball, just the pressure on the spine. And so it was like 2 or 3 years. I'm like, I have not had a spinal epidural. I would go in every year and do a series of three of them. And because of the BPC, and then when we had added the capsules, so then I'm like, I do a cycle of BPC, TB 500, and then I go to the capsules. And I'm someone because of my pain and chronic pain from that, I'm always taking BPC. And my doctor, my portal provider is comfortable with that, but I just do swap between the two. And I noticed I had never taken the capsules in the last 5 years. I've been playing with peptides. Um, and I literally don't even take my pain medicine anymore. So I would have it just in case. So now, not only have I gotten rid of the idea that I would have to have spinal surgery, but now I'm like not even taking my pain medicine. And I'm like, I went to Cedar Point with my kids for the first time in 5 years. I was riding roller coasters. I was like, this is amazing. I mean, I feel I'm aging backwards, and that's what's beautiful. I'm so excited for what's to come because we are a regenerative company, regenerative health, and I do use the skincare too. That's transformed things as well with dark skin spots that I've been, like Peyton said, spending thousands of dollars on. And then like these peptides, I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you, Hani, for creating amazing products for us.
Oh, absolutely love it. So, anybody that's listening right now, obviously you take a lot of these peptides. Which one would you recommend they get started on just to dip their toe in, Obviously the weight loss is going to be the GLP-1s, but anybody who's kind of the energy levels or clarity or the pain, which one would you recommend that they get started with?
I mean, for sure. I mean, even if you're not looking to lose weight, the microdosing isn't a weight loss dose. It's this teeny tiny little bit that actually took down a lot of my inflammation with that BPC, which heals the gut lining and tissue repair, regenerative on a cellular level for tissue. I mean, gosh, it just depends on what's going on with your health. If you're someone that tries NAD and you're like, okay, I still don't feel that energy, well, then maybe you need to sprinkle in, maybe you do have some inflammation going on and some things going on with your metabolism. You might want to microdose. But if you're someone that wants to glow, you do that BPC and the GHKCU. It just depends on, where you're at. But those are some of my favorite stacks, and I just love it. I've been playing around with them for the past year and just loving all of the different peptides and products that we have here. Does
Yeah,
that
somebody's
answer the
just come in
question
and
well?
asked. People are asking a bit more about the skincare. They're really like they want to know a bit
Yes.
more about the skincare. So talk to us about your journey on the skincare.
Yes. So with the four babies, I noticed after each pregnancy, actually during, I was getting the pregnancy mask in a new way, which is like melasma, dark skin spots. And after I would like go through all of these things to try to bleach creams, this product, I did find one really good company that worked, but then as soon as I was done, like it didn't work. And so I do feel like the combination with the peptides internally and the work that I've done with my holistic health, with the um, with the injections of all these different peptides we have, and then I'm putting the peptides on my skin as well. Like I'm seeing some of the really stubborn spots that have not wanted to go away. I mean, I've spent so much money on lasers and this and that. So, but is the question like what's in there? Like we have
It's kind of like just
NAD.
talk a little bit about what the
Yeah,
journey is on that skincare.
yeah.
How has it helped
So
you?
So the tretinoin is in there. So I actually was a little bit sensitive with my skin. So I did it every other day when I first started. And I would say I took pictures every week in the same lighting, in the same place, no makeup. And you could literally see like the glow coming up, like that first layer of skin, kind of like regenerative on a cellular level topically with the exosomes and our technology. And I use it every other day. I use it 3 times a week. And now I've been experimenting with it on some of stretch marks and some other areas, scars that I have that I want to see go away. So I mean, peptides are incredible. They're so fun to learn and play around with. And yeah.
Yes, they absolutely are. Well, thank you, Vanessa, for coming on and sharing your
Yes.
story. There's so much
My
knowledge there, and you've
pleasure.
experienced so many different peptides. It's great to hear how all of them are working for you. So thank you for coming on and sharing.
Yes. Thank you. Thank
Well,
you.
thank you to each of our guests for sharing your experiences with us. We really do love hearing all these amazing stories. And I know it inspires so many people because so many people out in the world are struggling and they haven't had the experience of the peptide journey yet. So we welcome you to come and experience the peptides. Reach out to the person that invited you to this call just to hear about the peptide world, ask questions to people. Um, and dive in. That's my recommendation for you. There's something for everyone. It's just got to be your sweet spot. So definitely reach out to the person that invited you to this call. So that concludes our Thursday educational series, and we will be back next week. So thank you to our guests. Thank you to the viewers for tuning in and watching, and take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.